and we'll raise a toast at some point in this proceeding. Vivienne.
I have been non-stop working for Julian ever since I met him. I'd like you to know something of what I've been doing. And I use every opportunity to talk about him whenever I can. And every Friday I publish a post. And the post is this. These are these cards. They're just sort of more or less soundbite idea for these cards. And I print these cards, I publish these cards every Friday. And the last 3 cards will tell you where I'm up to. But I've been doing so many other things. I'm going to be doing a fashion show that's totally political, and I've got Julian involved in it. I've done some artwork with pieces about Julian, whatever. Everything I do is incorporated in all this. And the film that you're making, I think it's really great if you hear what I say here, because that will broaden up the whole topic of Julian. Because my theme is, in all my activism, it's as easy to save the world from climate change as it is to save Julian Assange due to global corruption. Okay?
Here.
And so it would be really great if you want to know what I'm doing, just follow me on my website, and some of you have been doing them. Thank you for that. Anyway, so the last post was the 25th of March 22, Julian's wedding. Stella was radiant in the dress, and I'm proud of our design. Julian, Max and Gabriel chose tartan kilts because the family is Scottish. You're all freedom fighters. May the Holy Life Force bless this marriage. Julian published the collateral murder video released to him by Chelsea Manning, the greatest threat the US ever faced to its credibility. 4,000 years ago, civilization began with wars, and today we have reached the limit. Perpetual, unwinnable global wars. All political rulers run the global war economy. Julian is their most wanted man, and the law is their political tool. Due process has been corrupted by legal farce. On that page goes a picture of the wedding. It's got to be done later. It went out digitally. And the legal bid for Julian's extradition, the trial of an innocent man, was conducted as if Julian were guilty until proved innocent. He was enclosed in a bulletproof box without access to his lawyers. His documentation had been stolen from the Ecuadorian embassy by the security who were working for the CIA. The judge, Barretza, left loads of time for the American prosecution to waffle, wasting time and put pressure on the defense. Nevertheless, Julian's defense smashed all their ridiculous reasons. If Julian is now extradited, these will become charges, and Julian will be imprisoned in the stitch-up court for more than a lifetime. At the end of the pre-trial, the judge avoided due summing up. I have to mention that I didn't know exactly what she said or what she didn't say, because it's never reported in the press, so how could we know?
Yep.
It's only Craig Murray who makes any of this available. Anyway, but she asked for time, and after 3 months' delay, she turned the whole legal process into farce and dismissed it with a win. She would not agree to extradition because Julian might die. Then the prosecution appealed, and the next judge was also allowed to pass laws on a whim. He decided Julian would not die. Now Julian can appeal, but I think it's his last chance. There must be a proper summing up, and then of course there is no valid reason to extradite Assange.
Yes. Yeah.
Now the next is, this will be next week's post. Freedom for Assange is critical for our survival, salvation. To date, our civilization global is an abscess of corruption, all meshed together with the fibres of politics, economy, law. We are a world war economy, which means war is our biggest earner. Stop arms sales.
Yep.
All our profits are in proportion to death. War economy includes trade war, competition and destabilization of democratically elected governments. CIA are everywhere. Saw the whirlwind. Warlords own the media. War is not only flesh and blood, newborn babies blown sky high or sizzled in their cots. Slow starvation takes 4 years. Famine and migrants bring it on. War is a counterproductive economy. Profit for the few. There'll be no market left. It is the major cause of climate change. War economy, the total thing. We are at tipping point, and we are consumed with unwinnable wars globally, because everyone globally is versus everybody else. It's so complicated because of Saw the Whirlwind, that's why. See, climate change will kill all creatures unless nuclear bombs win the day. Release Assange is not only a question of human rights and free speech. He published American War Crimes, the collateral murder video. It is also a symbolic victory for end war. It will lance the absence, and the pus of corruption will run. By the way, it's cheaper to pay people not to work than to run the war economy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Whoa.
I think it was morning, that's the reason it's really, really important. Dear Mackenzie Scott, you know who she is. She's got more money than she can spend. She had $35,000 given to her, $1 billion, by Jeff Bezos, and now she's got 55. Even though she's spending her money at a terrific rate, she can't spend it fast enough as the interest on it. Okay. Anyway, so dear Mackenzie Scott, the media forever mention climate change as a separate issue. It is the underlying issue. Everything depends on it. All our problems depend on it. Targets are meaningless future projections, and all comment refers to managing global warming. We accept it. We're all being programmed to accept it. The last rich man will die in a bunker. This is why, therefore, because the media forever mention climate change as a separate issue, this is why 7 billion people don't know we face mass extinction. The cause is industrialism. War, perpetual, ultimate, unwinnable global war is the death rattle of the Industrial Revolution. We're still in the throes of something which is equal to the pollution we've caused. The long-term solution is change the economy. This is my plan. We have a plan. The last person to advocate this was the young Winston Churchill. Starting now, and we have to change the economy to something called no man's land. This is not communism. Communism is bad. It's land belongs to no one. Land includes everything that nature gives us free. Land and its biosphere, ocean, air, underground. Whatever nature gives us free cannot be privately owned. It is owned at the moment. And it's owned by the rich and by the corrupt governments of the world. This no man's land is a sustainable economy. Its very structure gives a fair distribution of wealth. You can't have an economy unless you have a fair distribution of wealth. It will plunge into nothing, which is what's happening right now. One payment only into the public purse for the rent of land. You rent it. We are custodians of land, and we rent it if we need it for its use. And we may not be allowed to use it if we have an autonomous Bureau of Assessment, which is needed, independent of government. That's the way it would work. All other transactions would be man to man. No income tax, no other tax. Of course they don't want it. Start by taxing the technocrats, Amazon and the media moguls for the use of the airwaves. This has all got to be worked out, just a proper plan as to how it can be properly taxed, not with wages at the moment. And it's an incredible, massive, untapped revenue, which would solve all our problems if we started to harvest that. Our campaign is focused on stop arms sales, called climate change. That follows on. You don't stop war immediately, but we don't have time. The only way to halt climate change is a moratorium of 2 years on industrial production. Remember, I told you it's cheaper to pay people not to work. Operation Blue Sky, it would give us time. That's it. That's my campaign. And unless we get some help from this Mackenzie, I'll just lose my motivation because we've got me.
Woo!
Shouldn't mess it up, does she?
Not at all.